Reece Walsh's secret cancer fight revealed. Broncos flyer given months to live, Kangaroos in shock. Under the relentless sun of Brisbane's red earth, where the songlines of ancestors weave through the pulse of a young warrior's veins, can the shadow of mortality creep silently into the spotlight, turning a champion's blaze into a beacon of unyielding grace. It was the dawn of November 2025, mere weeks after Reece Walsh's electric debut had scorched Wembley's turf in Australia's 26-6 Ashes triumph over England. A night where his intercepts danced like lightning, his saves a vow of defiance, leaving 60,812 souls in awe of the 23-year-old Broncos flyer's unbridled fire. Walsh, Wiradjuri blood humming with the rhythm of Queensland's outback heritage, had risen from Moreton Bay's humble dust to NRL immortality. Clive Churchill medal clutched in the grand final glow, Kangaroos jersey donned with the quiet reverence of one carrying family dreams on his shoulders. Please like, share, and subscribe for more sport talk content. The revelation came not in thunder, but in a press conference's hushed veil. Doctors at Brisbane's Princess Alexandra Hospital, after months of shadowed scans and whispered consultations, delivered the verdict. Stage 4 lymphoma, aggressive and unyielding, granting the prodigy perhaps 6 months to weave his final chapters, the room falling silent as if the world held its breath for a boy who had outrun every shadow until now. In the sterile hush of that conference room, Walsh sat flanked by his partner and daughter Layla, her tiny hand in his, eyes wide with the innocence that now pierced his armored heart. Ivan Cleary, across the ocean, tuning in via video, his face a mask of fraternal ache, while Broncos coach Kevin Walters gripped the table's edge, the air thick with the unspoken. How does one eulogize the living? The Kangaroos' inner sanctum fractured in waves of shock. Mal Meninga, the grizzled captain of legends, pacing his hotel room in London, phone pressed to ear as news crossed the dateline, his voice cracking. Reece, our spark. This can't be. While teammates like Munster and Cleary exchanged texts laced with prayers, the green and gold brotherhood now a circle of quiet sentinels around a flame flickering against the gale. Emotional whispers rippled through the Broncos training ground that afternoon. Players pausing mid-drill, helmets off, eyes downcast as the news filtered in. Some slumping against goalposts, others pulling Walsh into embraces that spoke of battles shared, the field that had been their coliseum now a sanctuary for grief's first tender steps. The turning point etched itself in vulnerability's raw ink. Walsh, rising to face the cameras, his frame still taut from Wembley's wars, voice steady yet laced with the tremor of a father confronting eternity. I've felt it for months, the fatigue behind the fire, but I ran anyway. For Layla, for my mob, for every kid in the bush who sees a blackfella flying. If these are my last sprints, they'll be the fastest yet. The room exhaled in fractured harmony. Journalists dabbing eyes, a collective hush broken by a single clap that swelled into thunderous applause, not for pity, but for the poetry of his resolve, the Broncos faithful in the stands outside erupting in chants of, Walsh. Walsh, as if summoning the spirits of indigenous trailblazers like Arthur Beetson to stand sentinel. Yet in private, as lights dimmed and the world receded, Walsh knelt in the hospital chapel with his elders, songlines murmured in language older than the game itself, tears tracing paths down cheeks still flushed from the fight. A conversation with his late grandmother's memory. Nana, if heaven needs a fullback, I'll wait my turn, the moment a bridge between earthly turf and ancestral skies. The final whistle of that day told not in defeat, but in defiant harmony. Walsh, discharged with a cocktail of treatments mapped like a game plan, returned to training light duties, his boots laced as if tomorrow were guaranteed, the team huddling in silent vow. No words, just the shared rhythm of breaths sinking like a scrum on the edge of eternity. In the digital dawn that followed, the revelation spread like wildfire through eucalyptus. Clips of Walsh's Wembley tries intercut with the presser, amassing 100 million views in hours. Hashtags #Walsh Warrior and #Run for Reece trending from Sydney's harbours to London's fog-shrouded streets, fans worldwide pausing mid-scroll to witness a hero's unmasked heart. News wires hummed with elegiac grace. NRL. Com's tribute framing his story against rugby league's resilient tapestry, from Steve Folke's quiet battles to the indigenous icons who turned pain into power. While global headlines in The Guardian pondered, the flyer who outran fate, the revelation not scandal, but scripture for a sport forged in adversity's fire. Culturally, it resonated deeper than the treeline. Walsh's Wiradjuri roots illuminating First Nations struggles with health's inequities, echoing the silent fights of elders in remote communities, where cancer steals too many without fanfare. His openness a didgeridoo call, urging screenings and stories long suppressed, bridging the game to healing's broader horizon. Fan reactions wove the aftermath's richest thread. Broncos supporters flooding Suncorp with purple ribbons tied to seats, English rivals from Wembley posting, "Fight on, Reece, you humbled us, now conquer this." The Kangaroos diaspora in pubs raising glasses to the secret weapon who fought in shadows, turning personal torment into communal fortitude. Beyond the headlines, the ripple touched youth clinics. Coaches in outback academies weaving Walsh's tale into sessions on body and spirit, kids from Moreton Bay mimicking his swerve not just for glory, but for the quiet courage to face life's unseen intercepts, the revelation seeding a legacy of vulnerability as victory's truest form. What does this secret fight unveil of the human soul's hidden architecture? In Walsh's concealed sprints through pain, we behold the poetry of perseverance masked as flair. In his revelation, the nobility of surrender to truth. Moments that transcend the scoreboard to mirror life's delicate equations, where one player's shadow becomes a nation's light. It speaks to sportsmanship's unspoken covenant. The Kangaroos' brotherhood unyielding in silence, rivals offering hands across divides, a tableau reminding us that true rivalry thrives not on conquest alone, but on the mutual forge where illness tempers suspicion into solidarity, triumph into tenderness. Reflecting deeper, the diagnosis illuminates legacy's patient loom. How Walsh, forged in Brisbane's crucible of comebacks and criticisms, channels ancestral resilience into modern myth, teaching that the greatest runs are those against invisible foes, each treatment a thread in the tapestry of unbowed spirit. In life's broader amphitheater, it whispers of redemption's quiet rhythm. The months to live, not a sentence but a spotlight, urging introspection on health's fragility amid glory's rush. Walsh's fire a celebration of heritage's redemptive arc, turning personal prognosis into communal awakening. Beneath the spectacle, vulnerability's tender pulse. The flyer navigating needle's sting, fatherhood's ache, the jet lag of mortality. His emergence a testament that character, sculpted in unseen scans, shines brightest when the diagnosis dims the field, inspiring us to sprint not from shadows, but through them. In the hush of a Broncos recovery session, Reece Walsh spoke with the gentle thunder of rooted earth. Cancer's just another defender, I'll read it, step it, and keep running. For Layla's laugh, for my family's stories, this fight's mine, but the win's ours, his humility a lighthouse amid the gathering storm. Cameron Munster, eyes alight with brotherhood. Reece hid it from us, played like a king while battling alone, that's heart. We're with you every step, mate, your fire lights our way, his praise a bridge from awe to unbreakable alliance. Kevin Walters, coach and guardian, he's our son, our spark. Months. Nah. Reece writes his own clock. Proud doesn't cover it. We fight as one, a vow laced with the warmth of mentorship forged in finals fire.